Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this fine planet of ours. It is Thursday night here in the UK, 8:30 in the evening. The Third and Long podcast is on the air, the post-wildcard edition of the Third and Long podcast. I am, of course, the incomparable Shane Harris. To my left is the podcast OG, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson. And conspicuous by their absences, I'll go through them one by one. My beautiful, adorable little cherub, Baby Hope, is a little under the weather. It's not man flu with him, it's baby flu. I completely get that. So get well soon, my old buddy. I'll catch you soon. And Mr. Perrins, once again, is frazzled. You know, like those little bags of Frazzle crisps. He reminds me of one of those. Yeah,
No,
he's little frazzled from his day job, so he may join us momentarily, he may not. If not, I'll catch you soon, my old buddy. OBH, how's things, my old buddy? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm starting to forget what you look like, mate.
Oh, I know, still as handsome as ever.
I hear you on someone else's podcast before you come on ours. How disrespectful
well,
is that? I mean, I love it, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's
what happens when we've got friends in high places. That's what happens when we've got friends in high places, do you see?
Oh yes, mate. Oh yes, indeedy. I am trying to download something from my phone to put on the show from Andy, but it's being stupid at the minute. I think it might have done it. But yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Are you all settled in your new abode?
New digs, but new digs again. I'm honestly, I'm like I'm a little bit everywhere these days, but yeah, I'm all settled, thankfully, ready to start the new chapter of my life, and let's get it going from there. But a little about that later on. We've got football to talk about. Very important football weekend in the NFL, and not just that, in the NCAA as well, which I've had to learn more about this week. So bear with me. I do apologize in advance.
Yeah,
the gaffers had me learning new stuff.
Yeah, man. It's coming to the end of regular season now. It's coming to draft season. It's good for you to learn more stuff. You know, college ball's good. You know, you've got your Louisville jersey now, so you've got no excuse not to learn about college ball.
I almost put my Louisville jersey on today, but I was thinking if this is the last time this season I'm going to wear my beloved purple, I need to wear it for today.
Oh, you reckon that's it? You're done for the season, do you? Is that you? Okay, that's interesting.
Spoiler for Across the Pond with Andy Davis and Charlie Nelson we had, who's also a Bills fan as well. Lovely bloke, Charlie. Pleasure to meet him. But yeah, spoiler alert, I think this is where we get off. I don't know why. I don't want to be too overconfident because we've beaten them in week 4, 35-10. We made them look ordinary. But I don't want to be too overconfident. So I'd rather be correct and lose than get my hopes up and get my heart broken, you know?
I get you, mate. I get what you mean on that one. It's yeah. Been there, done that, got the, yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl against Giants. Oh, we've lost. 3 years later, yeah, we're going to beat the Super Bowl against Giants. Oh, we lost. Yay, we're going to beat the Eagles. Oh, we lost. Yeah, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, mate. It's great. I just realised my son has brought back one of my coaching bibs and just dumped it on the floor behind me. Yeah.
Kids being kids.
Yeah, it's my youngest. He doesn't play for the team. Yeah, he joins in, trains with my eldest team anyway, and he kind of like just comes down, leaves a bib on, and just dumps it on the floor. Cheers, mate. Okay, let's get on to football. Let's talk about the first game of the wild card, and it was the Chargers yet again losing in a wild card game. They are now, I think it was 0-6. I read in the wildcard games. Justin Herbert is 0-2 as a starting quarterback in playoff football. Obviously, he lost, 2 years ago to the Jags when the Jags came from 27-7 back at halftime to go and to win the game. They scored 30 points, unanswered points to win the game in that one. And the Chargers, yet again, they blew a lead. They were 2 field goals ahead. And then CJ Stroud seemed to have a botched snap on 3-16, I think it was. It went over his head. And then he managed to scramble around and find Hutchinson on a crossing slant, on a scramble drill crossing slant for a big 20-something yard game. And that kind of seemed to snap CJ Stroud into CJ Stroud we knew and loved, making the plays that confident, those runs like, okay, I don't care. Let's light it up. I'm going to scramble for first down. It's fine. But the Chargers whenever they had a drive, they would falter and it would stop. They would get to a certain distance and then they'd have to punt. They couldn't get the run game going, and which affected the passing game massively. Justin Herbert's turned over 4 times, threw 4 picks in one game. He threw 3 picks in the regular season. What's your make of that game, my friend?
I think the deciding factor in this game was Houston's defense. They balled out and they showed up. They were fantastic, and they made Justin Herbert, as you said, the fact that he's only thrown 3 picks in the regular season and threw 4 in this game, like, it shows how much they showed up to play. The Texans offense didn't come alive until, again, as you said, Nico Collins scored that touchdown, or that botched snap play from CJ Stroud as well. That sort of woke them up a little bit, because I was watching this game and I was like, what's going on? Because I picked the Chargers in our prediction league. I think a lot of other people did as well, because we've always seen the Texans being a little bit underwhelming this season, underperforming. But yeah, and then after, I think from halftime onwards, it was a bit more, leaned towards the Texan side of the field, whereas and LA scored 6 points in the first quarter and 6 points in the fourth quarter, and that was it. The only person that seemed to be sort of being passed to by Herbert was Lad McConkey, who had 197 yards, another incredible game for the rookie. And then, as I said, the last it was then Will Dissly, 2 receptions, Fisk, 1 reception, DJ Chark, 1 reception. Quentin Johnson couldn't catch a cold if he tried, couldn't catch a cold in Iceland. Nothing, no receptions, no targets. Yeah, it was just disappointing as well. I mean, one thing I will say, one sort of saving grace for this loss for the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh now has a heart procedure and a hip procedure for surgery in the postseason. So yeah, maybe that needed to happen sooner rather than later. So best of luck with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I tweeted out, I think that last quarter needs to be, or this game in general needed to be drug tested, because that last quarter was one of the most crazy games I've ever seen. I have no idea. It was like, oh, you'll throw a pick. You throw a pick. You fumble. You mess up. We'll score touchdown. It's like, Jesus Christ,
more turnovers than Greg's.
What have you suddenly taken? And it was one of the most craziest games ever seen. But it's what we love, wildcard football. Yes, the Chargers were the favourite, but let's not forget the Texans were the 4 seed, or are the 4 seed. They won their division. Yes, it is a weak division, but they still won their division, and yet they were the underdogs going into that game at home. They always seem to play the Saturday slot. They always seem to play the Saturday slot on this game, and they're playing the Saturday slot in the divisional game as well. It's known as Texas slot. No,
it is.
Let's roll over to the game where, well, at least us 2 on this show had a bit of faith that Lamar would show up for that game. I mean, the other 2 went to Steelers. I think they're forgetting that Steelers lost 5 on the bounce, and you had the better over the Steelers in the last 10 games. I think it was 9-1 or 8-2 over the last 10 games that you've played against them. Derrick Henry had one of his massive games at 186 yards. And you were 21 up at halftime without really getting out of second gear, I don't think.
Domination is the word you're looking for. Well, kicking your rival's teeth down their throat and putting and stamping on them. I love that. Yeah, as you said, 21-0 up by halftime the Ravens were, and we were walking away with it. But I've seen this team do this so many times. They'll put the foot on the gas, absolutely annihilate teams, and then stop playing. Because in the third, then they allowed 2 touchdowns, one from a Russell Wilson bomb to George Pickens, and I was thinking, here we go again. We're going to fall apart again. But no, to be fair, we kept up the pressure. The defense played really well. We started really well down the stretch. They started off a bit, I don't know. Well, they were really weak against the pass for a long time, and then I think they brought in Dean Pease to help Zach O in his first season, and that changed everything. I think the fact that, they've basically come down the stretch, showed up, I think, tightened everything a bit more. But games like this, right, where, as you said, like, I don't care if they lost 5 on the bounce. I don't care if Tomlin hasn't won playoff games in 2016. I don't care about that. This is the rivalry game. This is United Liverpool. The rules go out the window. Everything. If you're not up for this game, then you shouldn't be playing for that team. You
No, I
had
got that.
like I watched it. I watched the whole game. I've got a DAZN subscription for the playoffs, so I watched the whole build up and everything. They had Ben Roethlisberger and Ray Lewis on doing a video package, basically
Oh,
saying,
I've seen that. That is brilliant.
yeah, if you can't get up for this game, you shouldn't even be playing, because everyone knows it's probably the biggest rivalry in the NFL, if not the biggest rivalry in North American sports. But yeah, I think now we finally got the advantage over them with Derrick Henry, as you said, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson was fantastic again, 16 for 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. 1 to Rashad Bateman, who's quietly coming into his own. He scored 6 touchdowns in the last 9 games, and Justice Hill crossed the line as well. We didn't even look like we missed Zay Flowers that much. And I mean, rumor has it he still won't be fit for the Bills game on Sunday. But yeah, I think we played really, really well. We stopped the run. I think we reduced them to, what was it? We reduced them to 29 rush yards. And we had almost 300. The only reason we didn't have 300.
20 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason we didn't have 300, we had 299, was because the last play of the game, Lamar spiked the ball and then he lost a yard.
He
So we were about 300. Took a knee, sorry, yeah. And we were about 300 yards on offense on the ground. So, yeah, as I said, we hammered them, and I'm so happy to say that. But now the real tests begin. Good teams who manage to squeak out wins week after week. And sometimes they don't squeak them out. Sometimes they dominate teams, and the Bills ain't to be played with.
Yeah, that rolls quite nicely on before we go on to the Bills game. What is Steve Pittsburgh going to do next? Because obviously Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are out of contract. Tomlin, like you said, hasn't won a playoff game in 8 years. Easily gets to the playoffs every season, never had a losing record, always on above 500, but he can't do it in the playoffs. What's next for Pittsburgh, do you think? Do you think they need to go, right, Tomlin, you're on the hot seat now. If you don't have, say, a 2 or 3 win playoff run and get to the the AFC, or do they go, right, I don't think they're going to call it now because it's too late in the day. It's been a week. They're not going to do it now. They're not the Cowboys. Or do they go, right, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Darnold's available. Do we go, what do you reckon Pittsburgh are going to do next?
From a personal standpoint, disband the franchise, burn the stadium to the ground, and act like they never existed. But from a professional standpoint, I think they may need to move on from Tomlin now. I think they've hit the ceiling. I mean, you can't say he's been a bad coach for them. He's never had a season under 500, which, according to certain YouTubers, is the most pointless stat in the NFL. But yeah, I think they need to move on from Tomlin now. I think they've become comfortable. There's a saying in Pittsburgh that the standard is the standard. If you accept this as the standard, it's not a good standard to have.
It really
I mean, everyone knows I'm a big fan of Justin Fields. I was a little bit gutted when he went to Pittsburgh. But I think they should bring them both back. But I think they should sort of change the playbook if you bring in a new coach to incorporate both quarterback styles, and more of a scrambling quarterback and more of a long arm quarterback sort of thing. I think they should get rid of Tomlin, start fresh, and keep Wilson and Fields around for as long as they can.
Yeah, I mean, you should sign one of them. You don't go, right, let's clear house for the quarterbacks and let's start again. No, you've got 2 quarterbacks. They've done you well this year. They've got you to the playoffs on a 10-win record. Let's not forget, Justin Fields was 3-1 when Russell Wilson took over, and he won the next 6. He won 6 out of the next 10 games. Russell Wilson. It's only the last 5 games that they've really formed the plot. So if they've got them to there, and people are talking about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields possibly being a version, or could be in the talking for a comeback, like 8 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, when they were like, literally, this Steelers team is good and they are doing it. So I think it's a mentality thing and there's a coaching thing going on there. I think Tomlin is on that. I think he's signed a new contract not long ago as well. So he's got that there. So I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I would keep Russell Wilson or Fields. I think if one of them goes, they're going to be in Vegas, New York, somewhere. They're going to be one of these franchise needing quarterback or these quarterback needing franchises. But yeah, they've got to do something there to break this model. Yay, we got to the playoffs. We're gonna be in holiday mode by the 15th of January. You can't do that anymore. You've got to be in it to win it. Yeah, Pittsburgh, they're going to say, yeah, of course we're in it. We're going to get there to win it. But you were 21 down at half time.
Against your biggest rival, no less.
Yeah. You should have been up for that one. Right. For about 5 minutes and 32 seconds, I think everyone thought, oh my God, we've got an upset on here in Denver, in Buffalo. And then Josh Allen goes, yeah, we're going to play some football now. And Denver Broncos never scored another point. You know, Justin Allen with his doing what Justin Allen does, Keon Coleman playing really well. The 4th and 1, where he seemed to have a day and never got touched, moved around, scrambled to, I can't remember the corner running back's name, who caught it at the end, which was it in, Johnson. Was it out? Was it in? Was it out?
I think it was, personally, I think it was out, personally.
I do as well. Obviously, we had the Doink. Have you seen our Doink video that went around? 63 seconds of Doinks, which I put together, which I thought was quite funny.
You did. It was really good.
That's gone around. Buffalo, they're an incredibly good team. And Sunday night's matchup is going to be brilliant. We'll talk about that a bit more in a million. This was a very good score. This is Josh Allen going, yeah, okay, guys. This is me playing for the Super Bowl now. I am Super Bowl mode. I ain't going to win it. You are 10-17. Yes, you got it in the last week of the season. Yes, I'm going to show you what a playoff team is. Some people might say that Denver got there probably too early to the playoffs. They're probably a playoff team a couple of years too early. But, yeah. And then you had that fake punt as well from Denver, which I absolutely loved, which went nowhere. They had the fake punt executed brilliantly. 15 yards from Riley Dixon, which is his 6th completion in the NFL. For a punter. This is 6th completion in the NFL.
That's some sort of awesome stat, that is.
And then they went that 15 yards to, I think it was Mims, and then they went nowhere again. And there's another 3 and outs after that one. It's just, they couldn't get anything going after that first drive. And I can't put this on Bo Nix. I don't think it was a Bo Nix fault. He was 3 for 22. He took 2 sacks. He rushed as much as he got 43 yards on the ground. So you can't put this on Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a contender. I don't think he's going to get Rookie of the Year, but he is a contender for Rookie of the Year. But I think this is a little bit of inexperience from this team, despite having Sean Payton, who's been there, done that, got the Super Bowl, don't forget, and all that with New Orleans, going, yeah, it's a little bit too early for this team, I think. What do you make?
100%. Yeah, I mean, let's be fair, at the beginning of the season, long-time listeners of the show and viewers of the show will know that we were questioning who Josh Allen's number 1 receiver was going to be. And we were thinking, the Bills are going to struggle without a WR1 because Stephon Diggs has gone to the Texans and Gabe Davis has gone to Jacksonville. We were like, who's it going to be? And now, here we are, 6 months later, he's pretty much consensus MVP because he's carried this Buffalo team on his back. I mean, don't get me wrong, James Cook has played really well. He's had a couple of key defensive pieces out as well, but they've come back. You're forgetting, right, that this this Broncos defense is up there. Is one of the best in the league. Has been the
highest scoring defense in the league this year.
Exactly, and Buffalo put 471 yards on them through the ground and over the ground and through the air. That's mental. That's madness. And the fact that you said, we thought it'd be an upset. The Broncos got the first touchdown of the game to Troy Franklin from Bo Nix. And then that was the first quarter finished 7-3. And then Josh Allen woke up and then they put a touchdown on him. And the second.
Yeah, he obviously saw Haley Steinfeld talking to someone and got a bit mad.
Yeah, and then the Broncos didn't score a point for the rest of the game. Yeah. I think this one was men against boys. It was obviously a matchup of main eventers against mid carders. It was easy. This time of the season now is where teams sneak into the playoffs, but the class shows, the elite level, the difference in class shows. And I think it showed in this game 100%. Like you've got to look at, so Josh Allen was 20 for 26, 272 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns as well, one to Curtis Samuel, and that aforementioned one to Ty Johnson, which I still don't think was in, by the way. And James Cook got on the board as well. So yeah, they've got I think there's a lot of unsung weapons all over the field, the likes of Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Mac Hollins, Amari Cooper. They're a scary team to play. But
Mac Hollins had a bee in his bonnet. He has a man on a mission. He had a massive. He was the gunner on the punt, and literally he nailed the punt returner. Absolutely nailed him, and it literally cut the bloke in half. And it's like, damn, and then decides to step over him, and he gets a 15-yard flag. It's like, oh no, that was from the touch. That was from the reception. He made a reception and steps over the guy who tackled him. It's like, yeah, get yourself a 15-yard penalty, you twat. But yeah, I mean, they were the receivers are, like you said, it's not by consensus number one. It is by a union of wide receivers in Buffalo.
It's by committee. Yeah, wide receiver by committee. This team is fully focused on and fully runs on how good Josh Allen is. You neutralize Josh Allen, you neutralize the Bills. But so far, not many people have been able to do that. Don't get me wrong; they lost 4 games this season. They weren't poor in those games.
Well, we'll take one game off because they had off their 3rd and 4th strings against us.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So they felt charitable 3 games. They're 13-3. Dave's come up with quite a good thing. DJ Ferrero from the Patriots throwback. Bonex done really well, and also announced having a broken bone, wings on the side of a vertebrae in week 12 in the win over the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, that's going to play, but he's played and been incredibly good. Right. Let's roll over to the Sunday games. And I think personally, this was probably the worst of the 3 games, the Packers-Eagles.
Yeah. It's surprising, because you got 2 really, really high-powered offenses. You know, and the fact that Jalen Hurts is back as well. He played really well. Saquon was quite quiet though, but I think the Packers were more concerned about neutralizing Saquon because of his, you know, if this league was a proper MVP league and it wasn't just a quarterback award, he'd be definitely in the conversation because of his play this year. 100%. But he still had 119 yards. He still ran for 119 yards. But as I said, Philadelphia is similar to Baltimore. They've got weapons all over the field that can hurt you. You know, Hurts threw 2 touchdowns, one to Dallas Goedert, and then there was another one then to Jahan Dotson, the forgotten man in Philadelphia. It was nice to see him on the board. How do you think this one went?
I think the tone of the game was set in the very first play with the fumbled kick.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was.
The very, very first play. And, yeah, good luck on that one. Tone was set. I mean, obviously, Jordan Love was playing without Watson. A couple of their wide receivers gone down. So they're playing without WR1, 2, and 3. So you are playing with your second-string wide receivers for a lot of the game. And it showed because there was no connection there. There was nothing going with it. Josh Jacobs didn't really get going either. And I think it's a shame. Again, are the Packers punching a bit too above their weight yet? You know, are they doing what Pittsburgh do, get themselves there? That's going to be a really interesting situation. Interesting that was, how it fell out. Got to talk about Dallas Goedert's touchdown. The pick, the turn, the stiff arm, the stiff arm, the stiff arm. Oh, and I'm still going, and I'm still going to run it in. Good luck on that one.
The weekend of good stiff arms, hasn't it?
Oh, who was one that Derrick Henry literally sent flying, like almost like Josh Norman?
Inga Fitzpatrick. Sorry, but get out of my face. So long. I loved it.
I think I actually tweeted out. I mean, Josh Norman knows what Fitzpatrick feels like. So, yeah. Really
he does, and
enjoyed.
Isaiah
I love
Likely
him.
as well. Very much, the pair of them are very much nominated for the Angry Run Award this week.
Yeah, I mean, Dave's come out. I'm gonna echo what Dave said. Eagles did not convince me at all this week, and I completely agree. But I'm going to probably play devil's advocate on this part, saying, did them not playing a lot of their starters last week give the? Because don't forget, Jalen Hurts didn't play for 28 days. Hadn't played a snap of football in 28
That's
days.
a lot of time. Yeah, it's a lot of time out.
Did that affect him? I think so, because it took him a while to get going. First 3 plays of the game were all run plays, and then there was a safe screen pass. There was nothing like going, right, okay, let's give you a nice 10 and out or a nice crossing route or something like that. They were all behind the line of scrimmage, keep him protect from his, obviously he's had concussion, keep him a bit protected and his elbow and all that as well. No, it was Jordan Love, wasn't it? Keep him trying to protect him and all that. And then they go, right, okay, let's go on. And again, Eagles never got out of second gear, but they're always able to keep Green Bay at a good arm's length there.
I think the Packers are very much in rebuild mode, as we've always said. They're a very young team. So they've got time on their side. And the fact that I think they're going to get there, I think they'll get to the Super Bowl at some point within the next 5, 6, 7 years, but it's not their time yet. But as you said as well, they were missing a lot of wide receiver starters in this game. And I think the Eagles were just too good on the day. Yeah, exactly. I think the Eagles were just too good on the day. We'll see with the next round now. I mean, I believe, don't quote me, it's Washington the next round for the Eagles.
LA.
Nope.
LA,
yeah. See exactly. But yeah, we'll move on to that momentarily. Now we'll see what this Eagles team is actually made of.
Right. I'm gonna say this because Dave says he blames AJ Brown for reading on the sideline. The book that AJ Brown was reading went to #1 bestseller on Amazon the next day.
No way.
Yeah.
Just makes you think if we can get one of this podcast
the next day. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Right. Over to the Washington game with winning their first playoff game in 20 years.
Wow.
So the last time Washington won a playoff game, they weren't even the Commanders.
The last time Washington won a playoff game, Baby Hope wasn't even alive.
No, he was. We'll
just about.
But, I mean, obviously we had the Doink that went in, which we did play yesterday. You know, hence the name of the title. Doink went to the Divisional. Again, this is a game you can't put on Baker. He played incredibly well. But Jaden Daniels, he was quoted like, this guy is Lamar. Lamar 2.0 in a nutshell. And we've said that week in, week out, but he's got better pocket presence than Lamar. So I know that's not. God. That's you not lost. No. Shut up. That's not a. But this guy doesn't look like he's a rookie. He looks like he's been playing this league for 5, 6, 7 years. Jaden Daniels is an elite. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league for a long time. And he doesn't really have an elite wide receiver. He's got Terry McLaurin, and that's about it. Imagine if they get him another wide receiver, like an AJ Brown, like a T. Higgins, or someone like that, or go and get one of these couple of these really good ones like coming into the draft this year. I mean, Jaden Daniels, you can't see enough. You give him, 1 minute 53 to drive it down the field, 98 yards, and bang, there you go. In. I am going to say one thing, though. So I didn't watch this game live. I watched the Sky highlights. And there was a drive where Sky didn't decide to show the whole drive. They just showed it when the Washington were at the 2-yard line of the Tampa Bay end zone.
Yeah.
And it's like, cheers, guys. How did he get down there? Was it fumble? was it just we're going to methodically 4, 5, 6 yard drives, or was it a 98-yard bomb? I would like to know how the drive started. You know, I didn't watch Game Reports. I could have done, and it shows it. But Sky, I know you're listening. Please show the whole drive and less of the random commentary talking bits when they show the highlights. Do it like a game in 40, right? Bang, play, bang, play, bang, play, bang, play, bang, play, bang, play. Don't go play. Oh, he did this because of this. He did this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, and then you've taken up another 2 minutes of game time where there could have been another 4, 5, 6 snaps. Go play, 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 play. Please. We actually want to see the more of the game, not just the same play over and over and over. It's not sports scene where you just need to show the highlights. We want to see the whole game. Right.
Thank you.
Rant over. Over to you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, you're saying about Jaden Daniels. Who would have said this about this Washington team at the beginning of the season, that they'd finish the regular season 12-5? They played fantastically well, to be fair. They've always really got, pronouns, pal. All Jaden Daniels really has to pass to is Terry McLaurin. And don't get me wrong, Terry McLaurin's world class. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league. I'm a big fan. But then, like, who else do you really have? I mean, Austin Eckler's on the twilight of his career. Same with Zach Ertz. Brian Robinson Jr., he's not elite. I'm not really sold on him either. But he's managed in his first season to drag them.
He's a power back. He will smash your mouth in and then stamp on over your grave and then make 10 yards. He's that kind of running back.
In which case, don't tell him I said that then. but then, yeah, he dragged his team to 12-5. In his first season, people expected this kind of performance of Caleb Williams, of Bryce Young. But no, so I think he's a shoe-in for rookie of the year, 100% guaranteed. And Baker's no slouch. Baker's been playing really well this year. You know, he's dragged them to 10-7. Mike Evans, again, he's in my upper echelon of receivers. I'm a big fan of Mike Evans. And he got on the board like he always does. He was 92 yards for 7 catches on 7 targets. Baker was 15 for 18, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. The other one was to Bucky Irvin, who again, you know, as in his rookie year, something no one's expected anything of him, but he's been really, really good. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jaden again, 24 for 35, 268 and 2 touchdowns again. So now it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think they've already exceeded expectations for the season. If it all ends in the next game now, then they can say, right, brilliant start, excellent foundation. We can build on this.
Completely.
But yeah, I think he's definitely what you hear.
Yeah, I mean, I was really pleased to see that Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans going at it again. I really
Charlie
thought
boxing
when Marshawn Lattimore left New Orleans to go to Washington, right, we're rarely going to see that matchup again. We've seen that matchup 3 times this year. Woo! And I've loved every single one of it. I love a Marshawn Lattimore against Mike Evans matchup. It is literally as good as Odell Beckham against a kicking net. Or Odell Beckham against Josh Norman. You know,
or Travis Kelce against kicking tees.
Wind up, or Jalen Ramsey against whoever, and he used to wind up. I love it when a wide receiver and a cornerback who have generally beef against each other go at it literally for the whole game. And you know for a fact that that quarterback is going to be lined up straight opposite that wide receiver, and he's going to jam you as much as he can at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't care if he's playing zone or man. He will literally stop you from doing it just because he wants to hit you. Because that's what he gets the pleasure out of. Love it. Absolutely loved it. Right, before we go on to the last game, Dave's got a really good point, which I really like to make as well. I really got to give it to the Commanders and also the whole staff, coaching, etc. The way they turn this team around with the fit pieces for the puzzle and a really good QB. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
New ownership. Yeah, I think the new ownership has made all the difference.
I think there's a couple of pieces away, like I said, another WR, a couple of possibly D linemen to stop a little bit more of the run. And this team is going to be lights out. Actually, I think a corner is probably more important than D lineman. Probably a couple of skill players in the back end of the defense would make this team. Right. LA stifled the Vikings. LA did it for LA in the most LA way possible. The Rams, obviously, they're meant to be hosting the Minnesota Vikings in SoFi. The game rightfully got moved from SoFi to Arizona. The Cardinals, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They flew all the players, all the staff from LA and their families, and 4 dogs and 2 cats, to add, from
True.
LA
This is true.
to Arizona, allows them to use their practice facilities. This is a divisional rival, mind you. It's a NFC West divisional rival, and they did this for this team. Absolutely superb. And I hope everyone's okay in LA. I know we said this last week. It's a terrible situation. Our thoughts are with you day in and day out of what's going on there. But wow, your LA Rams did you incredibly proud. 9 sacks. They stopped from the most explosive offenses in the league to less than 300 yards, 163 passing yards in total, because they lost 82 yards in sacks. Sacked Sam Darnold 9 times.
Wow.
1 touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown. This LA Rams defense was out frigging standing. And to go back what Dave said, no, that was the wrong one. The Rams could do the Eagles over.
That's what I was thinking. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't shock me.
Dave, I don't think Sam was seeing ghosts. I literally think that Eagles defense, that pass rush, he had no time. Literally, I've not seen that time that offense line be so stifled and so quick. TJ Hawkinson was their biggest receiver at 64 yards. Justin Jefferson didn't get going. He even slipped on one of his routes, and you never see Justin Jefferson slip. He's one of the most sure-footed, one of the best, probably the best wide receiver in the league, if not one of them. And they just couldn't get anything going.
Jordan
LA
Addison
had
had
LAFD
3 catches
and
for
LA.
30 yards. That was it.
Yeah, it is ridiculously how good LA's defense was. And Matt Stafford, he knows how to win a game more than anything else. Knows how to win a game.
100%. Yeah, I think this Rams team, as you said, they did it for LA. I think we all knew that was going to happen. You said to me in the group chat in the week that the Rams are going to win. I even picked the Rams in the predictions as well, because people seem to forget, right, that Matt Stafford, as much as Phil gives him, gives him nonsense, shall we say?
Stafford equals Stafford, doesn't he?
Stat Padford, yeah.
He's
still 19 for he's 19 for 27, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns he threw. Went to Kyron Williams and went to Allen as well. That's without Puka and Cooper Kupp getting on the board. So it shows that they could have go outside the box than their usual weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Vikings team, 14-3. They lost to the Lions and the Rams back-to-back in the regular season, and then lost to the Lions and Rams back-to-back, towards the end of the season as well.
The only 4 games they've lost to are to the Rams and the Lions, yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, so, the fact that Sam Darnold got sacked 9 times. Not even I've been sacked that many times. That's insane.
No,
let's not do that. Let's not do that anymore. It makes you wonder, where was that O-line? Where was that O-line protecting Sam Darnold? But this is the end of his career. This is the end of his tenure in Minnesota. Maybe.
No, I don't think it is.
Because he only signed a 1-year deal. But they'd have JJ back. It makes sense to tie him down for another year and then slowly work JJ in if needed, if he's fit enough.
So I was talking to one of the other podcasters on TikTok, and I said, look, you sign into a 20 million year, 2-year deal. Give JJ a year. You front end load it. Say, right, you're going to have 30 million in your first year, 10 million in the second year. So if they cut him after year 1, you're only losing 10 million cap space. Boom. Thank you very much. You have JJ sitting for that year because let's face it, yes, he's been on IR all season because he's had double knee surgery. So he's needed to be away from the ground. So he's not been able to let JJ sit there for a year, learn, go from there. And after that, to go for Dave, I would not trade JJ. I don't think no one's going to take him from that yet. He's been out injured. No. It's too much of a risk. I'd rather take someone else who's been out and about, personally. What would you do? What would you do with Sam? Would you keep him in Minnesota?
I definitely think they should tie him down for another year because, as I said, the regular season record wasn't a bad record, 14-3. They shocked a lot of people. So, because they lost That's why I hate playoff football. It's literally one and done. You can rack up this huge record in the regular season and lose one game and that's it. So you can't really blame him off the back of losing one game and be like, oh, the season was a failure, get out. You can't do that. I would keep him for another year, and then I'd slowly integrate JJ when he's fit, if he's needed. But I'd make Sam the starter in Minnesota, definitely. Because what's going to happen? Where's he going to go? The Giants? Where's he going to go? The Raiders? There's no upside in those teams. The Bears don't need him, even though they do need a new coach. They don't need a new quarterback. I'd stay where he is.
Exactly. Right. Let's roll on to some news, because we've had some news this week in the NFL. Some exciting news as well. So let's play this.
This is the news in 60.
Yeah. We've had some exciting news here over in Europe, in London and in Germany. So we found out this week that we will have 3 UK games, 1 at Wembley, 2 at Tottenham, with the Jaguars obviously going to Wembley, and the Jets and the Browns being home teams in Tottenham. Yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts got announced as the first ever team designated home team to play in Berlin. Love that one. Superb. I think that's a really good one. The Patriots have replaced Jared Mayo with another former player, Mike Vrabel. Got something to show you about that in a minute.
I think that's good for you. I really do. He should have added this year.
He got announced on Monday after, obviously, it got broke last weekend, but it was formally announced on Monday. And yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys, Tuesday, one of the days, Dallas Cowboys and Mike McCarthy have parted ways after failing to agree to a contract extension before the deadline, which was Tuesday, I think it was. So he is now a free agent. Let's start with the UK games. I love the UK games. I've always loved the UK games. I even ran over to Germany 2 years ago to go and watch the Patriots play. I love when the NFL comes over here, but we're going to get the Jags week in, week out. Next year, with their stadium being redeveloped, we're probably going to get them 3 or 4 games next year because, well, let's face it, they need somewhere to go. What do you make of the 3 teams, and what do you make of the 3 teams and coming over? I know Cleveland is right up your street.
Oh, don't even. Right, I think the Jags, if they play to their potential, they'd be a really good team to watch. Maybe with a new coach now next season, we'll see exactly what they're about in a high draft pick. I think they're loaded with talent. Brian Thomas Jr. has impressed me all year. Gabe Davis is another one. Travis Etienne. They've got a really good defense when they can be bothered to play. Those aren't my words, by the way. And they could be a really exciting team to watch. So I go and see the Jags. But Ollie, the Browns, really? They're just giving us, that's the thing, see, because us on this side of the pond are desperate for any crumbs from the NFL, sweep it off the plate. We'll take it, it's football, we'll take it, So they've given us the Browns.
So obviously it's been, the last time the Cleveland Browns were over here was when they played at Twickenham, which was...
Wow, that's a long time ago.
I can't remember his name now, the quarterback, he went a first round pick. I can't remember his name. Anyway, it was Kaiser. That was it. Yeah, it was before Baker Mayfield. So it was nearly 10 years ago now. The last time that the Browns came over. So they are deserved to come over. They needed to come over. Obviously, Jets came over last year. They are a UK marketplace. Obviously, the Jags are the Jags. They're going to be over here no matter what. But I'm going to bring up what Dave has just said. Where is it? It will sell, but I don't think teams want to come over anymore.
Not wrong.
Dave, the teams don't get a choice. Roger Goodell tells them, right, you're going over there now. If they have 9 home games, one of the games, the teams have to come over. That is the option. So they rotate it. Obviously, you've either got 9 home or 9 away. I believe, if I'm correct, if you've got 9 home teams, or 9 home games, and you are then shortlisted to be one of the designated teams to play away, whether it's here. whether it's Germany, whether it's Brazil, whether it's Mexico, whether it's Madrid, which I understand that they're going to be announcing tomorrow. From what I'm reading, I've read this from a couple of people that I know are NFL guys in Spain, as in NFL media guys in Spain. So it's announced it could be tomorrow that they're hearing. And don't forget, we could also have Pittsburgh against what I'm hearing is Green Bay in Dublin this year. And I know Pittsburgh want to come over. Pittsburgh
they're going to come closer to me. Stay where they are.
Yeah. So, Dave, obviously you're in... Oh, I can't think what it is now. Begins with G. Where are you from, Dave? Spain area, G. What is it called? I can't remember anyway.
Granada?
British something. Hey? Gibraltar. That's
Granada? Gibraltar.
No, Gibraltar. What are you hearing over there, Spain? As you're in that neck of the woods, mate, are you hearing anyone in Madrid? Interesting. That's it. Yeah, he has Gibraltar. I would love to go to Madrid. You know, Madrid, Belgium, maybe Berlin, not so much because I'm not really interested in what Indianapolis do. Saw them 2 years ago. Don't want to see them play in Germany again. Thank you very much.
You had the honor of being in the presence of Minshew Mania.
I know, right? I even sent you the photo.
So
you guys.
sad. I know we would love that.
Yeah, I'd quietly take a flight, go to Dublin, watch the game over there, or you could even fly down to Madrid and back in the day. Happily do that. What would you like to see?
I just want to see, as Dave said, it's going to sell out anyway. You know, no matter who it is, because we're desperate for football over here, I think the NFL games now at this stage are like major UK music festivals, where you can put anybody as a headline act. It'll sell out because people see it as their holiday, as their tradition, as what they do. They go for that day out, and it doesn't really matter who they see. 100%. Because as we've seen, the amount of times that you've been, the amount of times I've been, it's not like a designated sort of place for home team fans or away team fans. It's a mix of all teams.
Vikings had an awful lot of people because all I could hear was Green Bay suck throughout the game. Jacksonville at Wembley are always, I mean, to be fair, Patriots all over there, but Jacksonville, Wembley are always very heavily. Buffalo brought a hell of a lot of fans the year before last. Green Bay were a hell of a lot of fans the year before. You are getting more of these teams who are the designating home team getting really supportive because they're bringing their fans over. There's a lot of Americans now coming over because they want to say, "Oh, we can go to London. We can go to London for a week and have a nice holiday over there." Brilliant, you know, go to sites, go to Legoland, go to Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace. They go to all these real nice places. Yeah, so the NFL do like it. And the teams when they come over, they really do try and do as much as they can for the communities around here and try and do things that Jacksonville always do their flag thing. Buffalo have always done things over here as well when they come over. So, yeah, it's getting better and better for the teams. They're doing more and more over here now as well. So it's good. They're trying to grow the brand, making it a worldwide brand. So Dave apparently is hearing Bears Miami at... Ooh. I don't know if he means Atletico Madrid Stadium.
Yeah, the Metropolitano. Yeah,
I've heard it's going to be at Real Madrid Stadium because the way they could slide the turf out and put it down like they do in.
That wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, right, New England. Pun. So our friend across the pod, Andy Davis, put this on his TikTok.
They're back, aren't they? Yeah, that's right. The Patriots have hired former player Mike Vrabel as the head coach. Of course, well known for his time as a Tennessee Titans head coach. Had a year off, but he's now back in the NFL as a head coach and with his former team. This is bad news for the whole AFC East. Could we not have at least a few years where the Patriots been bad? We've had 4 seasons now when they've been bad. That's literally it. And now they've got, I think, one of the most underrated head coaches out there. And I don't know why it took a year for teams to go and get him. Maybe he was waiting for the opportunity, the right one. Obviously, he knows the Patriots very well, knows the owners well, won Super Bowls with this team. You know, this is a guy that knows Boston and New England inside out. And people are going to point to the fact that he got fired as Tennessee Titans head coach, but let's not forget that Vrabel did have 4 straight winning seasons in his first 4 years as the head coach for the Titans. He got the number 1 seed in 2021 in the AFC, and this was with, if you take away AJ Brown, their next best receiver had 497 yards in Westbrook Akine. Now I like Westbrook Akine. I think he's underrated, but he's not really a WR2, and he's done all this as well with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback, who we all know is very limited. So to get the number 1 seed with, really, apart from Derrick Henry, running back, AJ Brown, that was literally it. And Vrabel, if it wasn't for him, they'd had a lot less wins in his final 2 years. And I think the Patriots are such an exciting prospect for anyone to take over a job with, because first of all, you're not replacing Belichick, you aren't the rebound. Gerald Mayo had that experience. He was the rebound to Belichick, but now, rather than replacing the best ever Patriots head coach, you're now replacing, a guy who was one and done. He's going to a team which has the best cap space, over 30 million more than the second best in the Raiders, the number 3 overall draft pick, and the way it could go, they could get they got their quarterback, they've got Drake May, but they'll probably get, with the top 2 teams probably taking quarterbacks, they'll have the 3rd pick and probably take Travis Hunter, who is a generational player who can play multiple positions. Yeah, for me, Patriots could easily be well and truly back in the NFL, and for me, that is frustrating as a Dolphins fan.
Thank you very much, Andy, for letting us use that 2.5 minute video. I forgot it was that bloody long, actually. Yeah. So as he said, Vrabel is back in New England. He left New England as a player in 2008 after 3 Super Bowl wins, first All-Pro team, New England Patriots all noughties, 50th anniversary team, all dynasty team, Patriots Hall of Famer, which he was inducted to the Hall of Fame in his last year's Tennessee. Now, apparently, this really angered the Tennessee player and his Tennessee hierarchy, because he was on their bye week. He was on their bye week, and he went and got inducted in his former team Hall of Fame. And apparently, that really angered him. Now, the reason that it went sour is not because of the 2 last couple of seasons, it's because he fell out with the hierarchy and the way he wanted to do things and the way they wanted to do it, because it got changed. So it's not surprising. I mean, as Andy said there, yeah, we've got the number 4 pick. No, we're not going to take Travis Hunter. Oh my God, please don't. Please go and take a tackle.
Why? What do you need instead?
Calvin Banks, a tackle is what we need. Calvin Banks, he's not given any penalties and led the league or the NCAA in pressures allowed. Please go and get Calvin Banks, best tackle in the college football, entering this draft. And yes, he's got 131 million in cap space to play with. This team it's not going to be wham bang. Yes, it's not going to be a Washington, because I think Washington had a few more things in place before they slotted Jaden Daniels in there. They had a better defense. They'd done the right thing a couple of years forward, where they got rid of a few players and picked a few draft picks so they could pick players up. New England didn't have that luxury. But I think they are going to be closer to what they were now. I don't think they're not quite back yet, but they're in the right direction, and Vrabel is the right coach. Don't get me wrong. Ben Johnson. I wouldn't mind Ben Johnson from Detroit, but take a step back, hearing a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, like the Locked On Patriots and the NFL Patriots, going, actually, Vrabel, yeah, that's pretty much the right one to go for. He knows the organization. He's going to work well. He is Belichick-esque, but not Belichick personality. He will have this team turning up prepared every week to win every week, going down this one. He knows it, head coach. Yes, his play calling is probably a bit limited, so he's probably going to get someone like Josh McDaniels, an experienced OC, who is very good at working with quarterbacks. Don't forget, he's worked with Brady, he's worked with Hoyer, he worked with Mac. Let's not forget, Mac Jones, his first season as a rookie, went to the Pro Bowl, went to the postseason as a rookie in New England.
You love McCorkle, though, don't you? You die on that hill.
I'm not going to die on that hill. I'm going to say he's a bloody good quarterback. Yes. So yeah, I really, really, really like that one. Dave says he wants to trade back or take Adele Carter. But yeah, that's my take on the Vrabel thing. What do you think, my friend?
Vrabel should have been there the second Bill left. I think he's a Titan. Sorry, he's a Pat's icon of the franchise. As you've said, you've rattled off all his achievements and everything. I think it was a no-brainer. But then I think also the fact that he didn't jump straight in Bill's shoes, he doesn't look like the scapegoat. He doesn't look like, the next in line. He doesn't look like, it's big shoes to fill. Jared Mayo now was taking the taking that reins, failed, and then he can just step in and be like, right then, it's not Bill's organization now, it's mine. This is what we're doing going forward. I think, with all the bells and whistles that you have in the new season, with the amount of cap space you have, and the high draft pick you have, and the new coach you have, and the shiny, newish quarterback you have, you're nowhere near it yet. I think there's too many holes to fill. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a step in the right direction.
100%, mate. 100% on that one. Right, enough of the news. Let's roll on to this weekend's games, which is divisional weekend matchup. We have thrown in the NCAA college game as well because it is the biggest game in college football. Let's start with the game one of the divisional matchup, which is Houston traveling to KC.
Texans, do it. Do us all a favor. Save us. CJ Stroud, save us. Do it. No, I can't see him doing it. You know what it's like. The Chiefs have had time off as well now, and I think I hate this so much. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I can't stand it, but they will. The Mahomes magic in the playoffs as usual, and
See, last year you all went against. Oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Mahomes and Casey, blah blah blah. And I always said, don't back against Mahomes. Mahomes in the playoff in January is a different type of footballer. He's a different type of animal. He's almost like Brady was. Yep, do it. And then, right, okay, boom. Yes, they won more games by any other teams for God knows as long now by one score. But I don't think that's because they're a bad football team. Give Mahomes the ball with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You're needing a score. He's going to drive that ball down the field and score. Xavier Worthy's been a great rookie this year. You've always got Kelsey. Pacheco's back. Noah Gray's thereabouts. You've got D-Hop, Juju. You've got some good-ish, in Juju's case, wide receivers there. Andy Reid has had 2 weeks now. He's had to this. He's going to watch Texans. He would have watched all the other wildcard games and gone, right, I've now got a plan for this team. I know what I need to do this. Steve Spagnuolo is probably one of the best DCs in the league for as long as I can remember. He is superb. He has everything dialed up. And I'm going to go for Casey as well. Right.
That is true.
Yeah. Washington traveling to Detroit. Now, Detroit are having players back now. Obviously, Hutch isn't back yet, but they're starting to have a few more pieces back. Knuckles is back as part of the Sonic and Knuckles duo as well. What do you make of this game?
I said this weeks ago, I can genuinely see Bills-Lions Super Bowl. And I think that's a Super Bowl that the neutral wants to see as well, because neither of them have ever won a Super Bowl, and we all love Dan Campbell and where the Lions have come from. I think they're good enough. I think they're going to beat Washington handily. I just think, they're a better team all across the board. As much as we've sort of, waxed lyrical about Jaden Daniels, he's getting there, but he's not there yet. And I think this Lions team is too strong. And as you said, they're getting key players back at key times of the season. They've also been the number one seed in the NFC, so they've had a bit of time off, 2 weeks off as well. I can imagine Dan Campbell, right? I don't think. What do you think he does in like the 2 weeks off when they're the number one seed? Do you think he like goes to sleep like normally and brushes his teeth like a normal person, or do you think everything's intense? He brushes his teeth with vigor. He drinks his can of Coke, doesn't sip it, just drinks it all down. In one go. Eats like massive T-bone steaks for breakfast. I think he's salivating. I think he's salivating for this game, and he can't wait. And I think the Lions all the way in this one.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we have gone. We are all in awe how good Jaden Daniels this year. It's brilliant. Detroit are a different beast from any other team they face this year. Different trees. Detroit will beat you again, and then drive over your body backwards and then beat you again. That is what they do. Okay. We saw what Ben Johnson did against Detroit. He tried every way possible to get a lineman to score a touchdown. They don't just try and beat you, they try and embarrass you.
He's taking the mick. Yeah.
Against
exactly what he was
Chicago,
doing.
they faked a fumble for a touchdown. They faked
They
that
did.
fumble for that touchdown. It's like they try every way possible to embarrass you. Every way. And I love it. That's why I love Ben Johnson in New England. Okay, it's not going to happen now, obviously. But still, Washington have done incredibly well. They're a very good defense and they're a very good offense. And I do think there's items in this offense that could scare Detroit. But I don't think it's enough for them to beat Detroit. So I am going for a Detroit win as well in that one. Next game, LA Rams against Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. Now, I've not seen where LA have been training recently because obviously the fires are very close to their facilities. I think the one fire is five miles away from their training facility. I know their players went back home after the game. I don't know if they've gone on to other venues. I hope they have because I don't think they should be training in the area where it's got all this fire and ash going on. Not seen anything on the socials I've been looking. I just haven't seen anything. But LA looked like a team possessed against Minnesota and Arizona. And for that case, and because they are really fighting for the city and doing everything they can for the city, I think they're going to go and face Detroit in Detroit for the NFC. I ain't going for the Rams to beat the Eagles.
Who would have seen that coming at the beginning of the season? You know, you've got these NFC heavyweights like the Niners, lol.
The Matt Stafford and Jared Goff Bowl. That's what we want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because of the trade that happened between the two teams, of course. But then, you've got the Rams. As I said, they've got to come into the link on Sunday with that same intensity and drive and passion that it took to hammer a very, very good Vikings team. And against the Eagles, they've got to neutralize Saquon, neutralize him as much as you can, make Jalen Hurts, sort of focus on his passing game, and which I don't think he's a world-class passer of the ball. Apart from AJ Brown and maybe Devontae Smith, there's not a lot there passing wise. But I think the Rams on paper, like position for position, especially on the offense, I think they're better. The only thing they do need to watch out for is the Eagles O-line. That Eagles O-line is dangerous. I'm a huge fan of Jalen Carter.
That Eagles O-line is possibly the best O-line in the league.
Exactly, yeah. And they're 14-3 for a reason. It's going to be a very intriguing contest. But I think I'm going to have to go with you, my old buddy. I think it's LA for the win.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles, yes. The pass defense on that Rams versus they picked him up in the second round. Wow, this guy is outstanding for a rookie. Matt Stafford knows how to win games. He's been there, done that. He's got to the Super Bowl. He's been to the playoffs for the last 4 years. They're 1-4, and they made it to the playoffs with a 10-6 record. They were very 10-7 record. They are very, very, very good. Let's go to the game of the weekend. I heard your review. I know where you're going to go with your review because I've heard it on Andy's show. And I've also heard what the Buffalo Bills gentleman said, who was incredibly knowledgeable. I really enjoyed listening to him.
I know, I was really impressed.
Go on then. How are you feeling? What's your anticipation for this game?
As I said to you earlier on, I think this is where we get off. I don't want to get my hopes up and get my heart broken because, I mean, a very, very wise 16-time world champion said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. So if you're going to get a Super Bowl, you've got to beat teams like the Bills and the Chiefs and the Lions, to lift that Lombardi in early February. I think I always said last year was our year. I really thought it was. because again the Chiefs didn't play that well, and Zay fumbled that ball. It was punched out of his hand by L'Jarius Sneed, who will probably live off that moment for the rest of his career because he's done nothing.
Oh no, L'Jarius Sneed at KC was outstanding, mate. Outstanding.
So yeah, it's as Charlie said on Andy's show, it's a toss-up. I'm not like 100% in on a Bills win, but for some reason, I just don't want to get too confident. I mean, I know Zay might not be back for this game. It might be a little early for him, but then we can use a two tight end set of Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. We've beaten them 35-10 in week 4 this season already, so that's 25 unanswered points. I don't know, playoff football. Ollie, I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more. I hate playoff football because it's one and done. Every play matters. Every inch matters. I mean, Derrick Henry had sort of, revolutionized our offense in a way because you've got to look out for both of them now, And I think the weather will make a difference too. Could you imagine tackling Derrick Henry when he's at full speed in that freezing cold temperatures in Buffalo? That's going to hurt. That's going to break some bones, I'm telling you now. But
the weather is expected to be 20 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's like -4.
Honestly, I don't envy any of them playing that game Sunday. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I am very, very wrong, and I hope we trounce some. I really do, because of course I do. But I think the Bills are going to beat us. And the fact that it's at Highmark Stadium may be the deciding factor.
So I had a message from Baldy and the Fig Fella. We do miss you, gentlemen. Yes. We understand your hiatus.
We do. Come back soon, boys.
He's calling you're questioning your fan of the Ravens. Can't believe you went against your team. And I'm paraphrasing. He didn't quite say it like that. I have paraphrased it. Please don't shoot me, Baldy. I have paraphrased it, and I'm doing it to wind him up. But right, this game, there's a lot to this game. This is not only Buffalo against Baltimore, who's going to go to the AFC Championship. Who do we think is the best team out there in the AFC? Because these two are the best two teams in the AFC. Yes, Chiefs have got the best record, but these are the best two teams in the AFC. But it's also more about these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks have both got a massive monkeys on their back, so they both need to shift of not being able to do it in the playoff. Josh Allen. Wow, that's a Josh Allen. I read a stat was 14-0 against other quarterbacks. He's 0-6 against Mahomes in the playoffs. But he's got to prove that, right, I can take this team to the playoff. I can go and do a John Elway and take the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, and lose 4 times on the bounce. Sorry, I had to get that out there, being a Patriots fan. It's not for everyone for the AFC to win a Super Bowl.
You're like a child.
Hey, mate, the way we've had the last 4 years, I've got to take some kind of
take something from somewhere.
Yeah. So this game is more about the quarterbacks, and I agree what the Bills side said on Andy's show is whoever gets in the front is probably going to win this. It's whoever's whoever scores first will win this game. And I think it's that. But I do think being at Orchard Park in Buffalo, them absolute bat crazy Bills fans, they're one of the craziest people I've ever seen. I am going to take a Buffalo Bills win, mate. That is purely that reason only. It is the teams are too evenly matched. Two incredibly good quarterbacks. This is MVP matchup as well. The teams are too evenly matched. I'm going to go for a Buffalo win purely because the fact they're at home, mate. This is not me going, the Bills are going to beat you because the Bills aren't.
Like I said, but I completely agree. This is very much Ali form. This is very much
in that freezing cold weather with those Bill Mafia fans, because we've heard those Bill Mafia fans. We heard them on the TV. We've heard them in real life. They are loud. Very, very loud.
this is very much Austin Rock. This is very much Ali Foreman. This is very much United Liverpool, the top two at their elite in the peak of their careers going at it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, cool. Right, Shane's favorite topic, NCAA football.
Okay.
It is on Tuesday morning or Monday night, midnight Monday on the 21st of January. So Tuesday, Monday, whatever you want to call it. We have the NCAA, the college player final at AT&T Stadium. I mean, it's the only time that Dallas is going to hold a playoff game in January because, let's face it, they don't really get that far. We have Ohio State, the 8th ranked seed.
It's Atlanta. It's the Falcon Stadium they're playing in.
Oh, of course. It says,
your point still stands. But still.
It says presented by AT&T, and I didn't read it properly. I just thought, AT&T. Against the number 7th ranked Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish against the Buckeyes. Take me away, Shane.
Do I have to? So I've been advised to do some research on this topic today because, as anyone knows, college football isn't my strong point. But yeah, it looks to be a fascinating matchup as well. The fact that Notre Dame shouldn't really be here. They're not one of the better teams in college football from what I've seen. It's going to be a very much David and Goliath clash against Ohio State, who basically have won the last 3 games by double digits. With Notre Dame have scraped by on the last 3 games by a couple of points here and a couple of points there. Ollie Butler will tell you that he's a big fan of the Notre Dame coach. It's not Morgan Freeman. What's his name?
Morgan, not Martin.
I was close.
Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, I was close. We'll tell you a bit about him momentarily. Yeah, the fact that Ohio State are the 8th seed and Notre Dame are the 7th seed is quite surprising too. Ohio State beat the Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Notre Dame beat I know the badge, Penn State.
Yep, Penn State.
Yeah, they beat them in the Orange Bowl. So yeah, nope.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl.
Just a little bit of background on how these teams got to where they were. But like I said, yeah, from all of the information that I digested today and all the pundits, I think everyone's looking for an Ohio State win.
I mean, as you said that, I'm a big fan of Marcus Freeman. I love his energy. I mean, he's only been there, I think it's 3 years now. 2001 he came to Notre Dame as their head coach. You know, he's played for Ohio State. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears from Ohio State. He's an undrafted free agent. I do apologize. As a linebacker, he played linebacker. He is linebacking coach from Kent State, Purdue, Cincinnati, so where the Kelseys came from. And then he went to Notre Dame, where he was DC and linebacker coach, before he took over as the head coach in Notre Dame. I really do like this guy. I mean, there's obviously going to be a bit of animosity from the Buckeyes because obviously he's a former Buckeye player. But I love his energy. I love how he gets the team, how good he is with his players. They will literally, it's almost like they would run through brick walls for him. He's a great, great guy. He speaks really well. He was on the Pat McAfee show a couple of weeks ago and he spoke incredibly well. I really like this guy, and he is actually being touted as a NFL possible head coach after this game, with Chicago Bear requesting to interview him. Ooh. Watch your eyes on this. Former 4x1 relay guy, you know, in track and field, he did discus as well in the college OSHAA track and field championships. He's a top bloke. Notre Dame, I just said, Fighting Irish. They came over here last year. They played in Ireland. They had a really upset against one of the small teams in North Illinois in week 2, but they've looked unstoppable since. They've gone unbeaten since that. They absolutely destroyed Purdue, beat your Louisville, beat Stanford, beat Georgia Tech.
Don't say my Louisville at all.
beat Florida State, where Jalen Verse come on from the LA Rams running.
Verse, yeah.
What's the name? linebacker.
Diverse.
They beat Caleb Williams, USC. As well. They've beaten some big colleges to get here. Yes, they've beaten the Georgia Bulldogs. They beat Penn State. But Ohio State is a different thing. They know how to get here. The Duction field they've had going through there. This is Jalen Field, old uni, Ohio State college. Sorry, it's college, not uni over there. But I am going to go for the Notre Dame to the win on this one.
Okay.
I do like the Fighting Irish. I do like Marcus Freeman, and I love a bit of an underdog. But there are some really good players who's going to be in the draft in this game, especially the couple of wide receivers at Ohio State. There's some really good corners.
Anyone that the uneducated amongst the audience and myself should look out for?
Yep. So let me just bring up their roster again so I can pronounce their names well. So on wide receiver wise, you're looking at number 2, Emi Egbuka. That's Egbuka. Really good wide receiver, 6'1", senior, very, very likely to enter the draft this year, possibly a round 1. Big-bodied, a bit like AJ Brown, big-bodied wide receiver, very, very good. I do like the running back as well, Trayvon Henderson, 5'10", built like a tank, will run through everyone to get there out of Ohio State. Excuse me. I'm starting to get this horrible bloody coffee cold that's floating around. I love it. Regarding the Fighting Irish, there obviously you've got Riley Leonard, who's likely to going to be into the draft, the starting quarterback for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. There's a couple of good other players. Davon Ford, the running back, Jameer Love. He's a sophomore, so he might stay on another year. He might announce afterwards in the college as well. He's a wide receiver, the running back as well. Very, very quick. He had an 80-yard touchdown a few weeks ago. Incredible player. The cornerback I really, really like, and I'm trying to remember his name. I know his number off the top of my head. I can't think of his name now. That's it. Is Max Hillman. He's a nice little cornerback as well. Could be there as well. And Chance Tucker is the other one. There's some really good players there coming in this one. Jordan Karp, the safety as well, is another really good DB in this league. The Notre Dame DBs are incredibly strong. This is probably one of the best DB class, I think, in college football that I've seen this year, personally. Baby Hope knows more about it than I do.
Oh, yeah. He'd have been all over this if he wasn't too ill.
Too poorly.
Too poorly.
Your prediction, my friend.
Ohio State.
You're going Ohio?
Yep.
Ohio
I think so. Like I said, yeah, I'm following the experts.
Yep. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I get you on that one. Yeah. Let's roll over. Now, I retitled it. It's either Baby's Bets or Shano's Specials, but today it is...
Wait, what? Oh, no. I haven't prepared for this.
Don't worry about it, mate. I was only winding you up. I knew you hadn't.
What were you going to say? Because I was thinking, we got enough to cover on this week because we only do one show a week now as it is. We've almost taken an hour and 20 minutes at a time.
It's fine.
They could be watching the board. They could be watching the Be At His Best masterclass on the other channel. I say masterclass. I have no idea what the score is.
Yeah, it's Ahmed Diallo saving the day again.
Oh, God, rubbish.
So yeah, as always, Fantasy Game Day app do have playoff football specials going through. For each game, £3 per franchise or fantasy app game. Use our promo code FIRD to get £7.50 back added to your betting account there as well. So that's promo code FIRD, THIRD. Head over to GameDayApp.com for your Play Store, Google app, Apple Play, wherever you get your apps on there. It's a really easy app. I've won money. My partner's won money as well on it. Pretty good. It's like normal fantasy football. You just select your roster. You have an amount of money to use. I think it's about £45,000. Each player is ranked, and you just go like, it's really easy to use, really fun, very, very good. Of course, As always, you'll be able to download this podcast tomorrow from your listening devices, wherever you get your podcast from, Spotify, Google, Apple, wherever you get your podcast from. Please listen, download, share it around. If you enjoy us, tell your friends. It's always good.
Tell everyone you know. Tell your nan, everything.
Diallo's just scored a hat-trick to make it 3-1.
What?
We were one.
Oh my God, a star boy.
We were 1-0 down until the 70th minute, mate.
And I saw Anthony missed open goal, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But Shano, thank you for making the time to join us, mate. It's been a pleasure. Good to have you.
Why would you be no? This is my show. This is my show as much as it's you as making the time. At the end of the day, things are going to be a bit more calm now in my life, so normal service shall resume. Good. And hopefully you'll see me on Thursday, because of course we're doing one show a week at this stage of the season, with a big massive smile on my face and targeting the AFC Championship game against Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Emrod.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was you against Texas?
I'd like that a lot. Yeah, I'm going to Thursday.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in, listening, downloading, however you've taken us into your ears. Until next Thursday, enjoy divisional football, and we'll see you then. Stay safe all.